Good morning. It's Fun Friday. I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm excited for this Friday because we get to do some really fun things. Today, you have some things to look forward to. We're going to do cheers, of course, and we're going to be learning. We're going to be making a walrus. We're also going to be reading a really fun book since we've been learning about cold weather animals, animals that like the cold weather. We're going to read a story called The Three Snow Bears by Jan Brett, one of my favorite authors. She also wrote The Mitten. So I think you'll really like that story. It has some polar animals, some Arctic animals that we've been talking about in it. So you can look for those in the story today. We've also, this week, been really working on listening for long vowel sounds in words. This says, I can hear the long vowel sounds in words. Do you think you can read that with me? I can hear the long vowel sounds in words. Do you remember the long vowel sounds? What's the beginning sound in acorn? A. What's the beginning sound in unicorn? U. What's the beginning sound in ice cube? Ice. What's the beginning sound in eagle? E. What's the beginning sound in open? O. Good. Those are our long vowel sounds. We're going to be doing long vowels. We're also going to be singing our teen song since we've been working on teen numbers this week. And I want to do a shout out to Savannah. Miss Angie told me that Savannah was very brave one of the days that I was not here. And she helped Miss Angie sing the teen song with you. So I am very proud of Savannah. It's very hard to be the one who gets up in front of everybody. And I was so proud when Miss Angie told me that she was willing to be helpful. So I'm really, really proud of her for that. And also Savannah is really a pretty fabulous singer. So shout out to Savannah for that. We're going to be singing the teen song, and I love the teen song. It's one of our new songs that we have. All right, let's get ready and do cheers. We're going to do it a different way. I'm going to tell you 4 words. I want you to listen very carefully to the 4 words, and then I want you to think for 3 seconds. I'll count to 3, and I want you to think of another word that might rhyme with those 4 words. Ready? Fell, shell, tell, well. Did you say bell or Nell? You might have come up with a different one. Or tell. All right. Good job. Okay, beginning sounds. Ready? Sincere. Sincere. S. Ace. Ace. A. Coffee. Coffee. K. Over. Over. O. Aisle. Aisle. I. Did you hear the long vowels in those words? All right. We have been really working on long vowels. These are all of our long vowels. Remember, what's the long vowel sound in acorn? A. What's the long vowel sound in open? O. What's the long vowel sound in eagle? E. What's the long vowel sound in unicorn? U. What's the long vowel sound in ice cube? I. Good. Those are our long vowels. All right. So be listening for long vowels. We have lots of them in cheers this week. Ready? O, B. Row. Oops. I did it without you. Sorry about that. B, I, T. Now together. Ready? B, I, T. Bite. F, U, M. F, U, M. Fume. G, A, T. G, A, T. Gate. M, A, Z. M, A, Z. Maze. K, O, T. K, O, T. Coat. Good job. All right, let's get our roller coasters on. Ready? Ooh, grab that long vowel in the middle. Here we go. Mute. U. Weak. E. Good. Mail. What's that long vowel? Whoa. Oh, woke. Woke. I need to tell you the word first. Woke. Whoa. Oh. Deep. Deep. E. Ripe. Ripe. I. Cute. Cute. Ooh. What is ooh? You know what? What one is that? What one is that? That is you. You. Cute. Cute. All right. Now let's take some words apart. Ready? 9. N, I, n. 5. I, v. Main. A, n. Ripe. I, p. Goat. G, o, t. Good job. All right, now let's add something to the beginning. Ready? Ape, add a C, or a, ready? Cape, add a S, soon. Ice, add a N, nice. Oot, add a B, boot. All right, now let's take something away. Ready? Toad. Take away the T. What's left? Ode. Soon. Take away the S. What's left? Oon. Date. Take away the D. What's left? 8. Good job. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep those fists alive. Ready? Book. Take away the B. Change it to T. Took. Good job. Took. Take away the T. Change it to Look. Good job. Look. Take away the change it to Look. Hook. Good job. One more. Hook. Take away the change it to Cook. Good job. All right. Let's do our... I'm going to actually change. We've been working really hard on digraphs, on our new digraphs we've learned. So we're not going to do all the letters today. I'm going to flip to just the ones that we've just recently learned and see if you can do those. Ready? Here we go. C-H, C-H, ch-ch-ch. T-H, T-H. W-H, W-H. S-H, S-H. Shh, shh, shh. Good job. We're going to add a new one next week. We're going to have a brand new one that we'll learn. And it will be the very last one. All right. Now, instead of singing our Little Boy Blue song, we're going to sing our teen song. So get ready for the teen.
Well, I just can't wait till I'm 10. I just can't wait till then. Because you must have 10 to make a team. You must have 10 to make a team. 10 and 1 make 11. 10 and 2 make 12. 10 and 3 make 13. You must have 10 to make a team. 10 and 4 make 14. 10 and 5 make 15. 10 and 6
Whoops.
10 and 6 make 16. You must have 10 to make a team. 10 and 7 make 17. 10 and 8 make 18. 10 and 9 make 19. Now what do you do when you're a teen? You get in your car and drive around. Turn your music way up loud. Go to high school with all your friends and learn to count way past 10. How do you make 11? 10 and 1. How do you make 12? 10 and 2. How do you make 13? 10 and 3. How do you make 14? 10 and 4. How do you make 15? 10 and 5. How do you make 16? 10 and 6. How do you make 17? 10 and 7. How do you make 18? 10 and 8. How do you make 19? 10 and 9. Then you get in your car and drive around. Turn your music way up loud. Go to high school with all your friends and learn to count way past 10. 'Cause you must have 10 to make a team. You must have 10 to make a team.
Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some fluency and fitness. So now you get to stand up and move around. So get ready for fluency and fitness. All right, what do you hear? What sound do you hear at the beginning of these words? We're gonna find the digraph at the beginning of the words. Say it out loud. Chick. What's the sound you hear at the beginning of chick? Ch. Good. Shoe. What digraph do you hear at the beginning of shoe? What do you hear at the beginning of thread? Thread. Good. Whiskers. What do you hear at the beginning of whiskers? Good. Piney. The cheese of pie. Pineys. 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 Shovel. What do you hear at the beginning of shovel? Cherry. What do you hear at the beginning of cherry? Ch. What do you hear at the beginning of wheel? Wah, wah, wah. Good. Thermometer. Thermometer. What do you hear at the beginning of thermometer? Shampoo. What do you hear at the beginning of shampoo? Butterfly, do the butterfly. Get on the ground. Get your legs up. Woo! Butterfly your legs. You get them in a butterfly. Good job. This is a church. What do you hear at the beginning of church? Church. Good. Think. Think. What do you hear at the beginning of think? Yes. Chair. What do you hear at the beginning of chair? Ch. Good. What about wheat? Wheat. Wheat. What? Good. Ooh, elbow to knee. Thumb. Thumb. What do you hear at the beginning? Good. Shell. What do you hear at the beginning of shell? Chimney. See that chimney it's pointing to? Chimney. Ch. Whale. Whale. Do you hear at the beginning of whale? Good. 13. What do you hear at the beginning of 13? Sheep. What do you hear at the beginning of sheep? Whisk. What do you hear at the beginning of whisk? Squat jump, squat jump, squat jump, jump, squat jump, squat jump, squat jump. Woohoo! Cheese, cheese. What do you hear? C-H-C-H. What about whistle? What do you hear? Shark. Shark, what do you hear? Thorn. Thorn. What do you hear? Yay! Good job, everybody. All right, I'm going to read the story of the 3 Snow Bears today by Jan Brett. The three Snow Bears. Come back, Aluki shouted. Her sled dogs were floating out to sea on a large piece of ice. Remember the pictures in Jan Brett's books? They give us clues about what's happened and what's going to happen. This is what has happened, and this is what's going to happen. Not far away, a Snow Bear family was taking a walk to let their breakfast cool off. Does that sound familiar? Aluki ran along looking for her dogs. She came to the biggest igloo she had ever seen. Who lives here, she wondered. And she went inside. See how many animals that we've learned about you can find in the story. Right away, Aluki smelled something delicious. The good smell was coming from a big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a small bowl. Now, this is a fictional book. So this isn't we've been reading a lot of nonfiction books that tell us a lot about the animals. This is just a made-up story. This is a fictional book, but it's kind of fun to read and see animals in a fictional book that we've read about. Do you see the walrus? This picture over here, can you find the walrus? She took a sip from the biggest bowl. Too hot, she cried. She tried the middle-sized bowl. Too cold. But the littlest bowl was just right. She said. Next, Aluki found 3 pairs of She found 3 pairs of furry boots. The biggest boots were too big. The middle-sized boots were too fancy. But the littlest boots were just right, and she wiggled her toes into the soft fur. You see what the snow bears are doing? Aluki was getting sleepy. Time for a nap, she thought. She found 3 beds, but the biggest one was too lumpy. The middle-sized one was too soft. The littlest bed was cozy and warm, just right, Aluki murmured, and she was asleep before she could take off her boots. Now, if you look really careful, you can find the owl. Can you find an Arctic owl? A snow owl, I mean? Can you see it? It's wearing a jacket, but it is in the story. It's in the pictures. You can also see, oh, maybe it's not there yet. There are some foxes too. If Aluki hadn't fallen asleep, she might have heard her dogs barking. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear had found the dogs and were taking them home. The bears went inside and saw soup spilled on the table. Who's been tasting my soup? Papa cried. And mine, said Mama Bear. Someone ate mine all up, Baby Bear said in her squeaky voice. Papa Bear found his boots tipped over on the floor. Someone's been trying on my boots, he boomed in his big voice. Mama Bear tried on her boots. Someone's had my boots on, she huffed. But Baby Bear couldn't find her boots. Someone has taken my boots, he cried. Oh dear. The dogs kind of look like snow foxes, but they're really not. They're snow dogs, I guess. They kind of look like they're snow foxes. The bears ran into the bedroom. Someone's been sleeping in our beds, Papa Bear and Mama Bear cried. Baby Bear squeaked, someone's been sleeping in my bed and here she is. Lukey opened her eyes and saw 3 bear noses only inches away. She hopped out of the bed and dove between Papa Bear's huge furry legs. Quicker than a seal, Lukey ran from room to room until she got outside. Her dogs bounced around, barking and smiling their doggy grins. Lukey waved a thank you to the snow bears as she and her dogs raced off. She heard a big gruff voice, a soft voice, and a squeaky little voice call to her. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. So were the bears really angry when they found out who was in their igloo? Did they look angry? They're telling her bye-bye, but like they're kind of friends, huh? So did you notice that the bears did something kind? What did they do that was very kind in this story? What did they do? They brought back something, didn't they? They brought back the snow dogs for Lukey. So do you think that they maybe knew her? It didn't ever say that they knew her, did they? Did it? Maybe they knew her because they helped her out a little, didn't they? All right, it's time to make a walrus. So you need to start with your brown paper. We're gonna start with the brown. You might want to get this part out just so that you have that to look at, to know what to do. We're going to start with the brown and we're going to cut out the big oval first. So I'm going to cut out that big oval because that is my walrus's belly. That's the bottom of the walrus. That's the part that I'm going to start and glue on first. So you can cut yours out. If you need to pause it for a minute while you cut yours out, you can. So that's the part I'm going to glue on first. I'm going to put mine up here. I'm going to get my glue and glue it on. You don't want to glue it all the way to the bottom, but you want it kind of close to the bottom so you'll have room for the rest of your walrus. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the back and glue it on. And I don't want to glue it this way. Look carefully. I don't want to glue it the long way. I want to glue it this way. I call this the hot dog way because hot dogs are long and hamburgers sit like this. So I want you to put it the hamburger way, like this, like a big fat hamburger sitting there, okay? So put it down there and do it almost to the dot line, but not quite to the dot line, just like in the picture you can see. All right, the next thing you're gonna cut out is the walrus's arms. These two things are the walrus's arms. So I'm gonna cut out his arms next and glue on his arms. So you can go ahead and cut out your arms if you want, unless you're just listening. I'm gonna cut out my walrus's arms really quickly and put my walrus's arms on. So I have my walrus's arms cut out and I'm just gonna put my walrus. I like to think the walruses go like this. So I want my walrus, his arms to be going out. But maybe you want your walrus to be going in. If you want your walrus to be going in, you can do that. You can put your legs however you like them. You can see how I did them in the picture. So I'm going to glue mine on so that my walrus is kind of sitting like walruses would sit maybe on a rock or something. If they were sitting on the beach or on a rock or on the ice, on an ice floe. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do on my walrus is cut out his head, and this is his head. So I'm just gonna keep cutting my brown stuff. I'm gonna cut his head out. Be really careful as you cut around so you get all of the parts of its head. Now our walrus has something kind of special. He has tusks, so we get to do tusks for him in a minute. So what you want to do when you're gluing his head on is when you're gluing it, I'm gonna show you, this is the top of his head. This is not the top of his head. This is kind of tiny. That's not his head. This is tiny. This is not his head. So you want to choose the biggest part around to be the top of his head. And this is his mouth. This is going to be his mouth where he has kind of a little tongue hanging out. And these are his big cheeks. Okay, so I want you to put it so that he has a head and two big cheeks. Okay, so that's what I'm going to glue. And I'm not going to glue all on his cheeks. I'm going to show you how I'm going to glue. I'm going to glue his head really good. And then I'm gonna kind of glue so that I leave his cheeks. Look what I'm gonna do. See, I'm gonna leave so that I'm not exactly gluing down his cheeks. And I'll show you why, because we have to add some tusks. So then I'm gonna glue it down, not on top of the words. I'm just gluing it down like that. And you can see how I can easily put some things in there still, okay? All right, then you get to get your white out next. So then I'm gonna get my white out. I was talking about his tusks, and we're gonna do his tusks next. His tusks are the long teeth that hang down. So we're gonna cut out 2 tusks. You can cut out your tusks. If you need to pause, you can pause and cut them out and then start the video again if you want to. Or you can just watch me and do it at the end. I'm gonna quickly cut out my tusks. And then what you do to glue them on, is we left his cheeks. We didn't glue his cheeks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue the back of the tusks of each tusk. And then we're gonna carefully lift up each cheek and put it underneath, one tusk underneath each cheek, okay? So that it looks like his tusk is coming out of his mouth. Because this is actually his mouth. Because his tusks are inside his mouth. Okay? So those are his tusks. And then you can cut out the whites of the walrus's eyes. So I'm going to cut out the circle white eyes next. And I'm going to put those just up at the top. You kind of have to they kind of go on top of each other. Let me show you. So 2 eyes will not fit. Watch, I'll show you. They will not fit like that. So you have to put one eye on like that, and then put the other eye on and kind of let it go on top of the other one just a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. See, and that eye is going to have to go over the top of that one just a little tiny bit, and that's okay. It's supposed to, okay? Let me get you a little closer so you can see what I mean. You see what I mean by on top of it? It's a little bit on top of that other one, on top of that other circle. Okay, now we're going to get out his red tongue. We'll put a tongue on our walrus. So cute, this little red tongue. So cut out the tongue. It's a straight line and then kind of a rainbow, okay? And then you can glue the back of it. So here's my tongue, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the back. And then I'm gonna put it I'm gonna lift up his mouth again just a little bit and put it right there. So it looks like he's sticking out his tongue, but it's not on top of the brown, it's underneath the brown, okay? Then the last thing we need to cut out for our walrus is the black. So the first thing we're gonna do is cut out the circle eyes. We'll do his eyes since we just did the whites. We'll do the blacks. So cut out the circles on there. We'll finish his eyes. I have one circle. I need two circles. And then I'm gonna glue them inside the white so that he has little black dots in his eyes. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna put that one right inside one of the whites, so it's right in the middle. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. I'm gonna make sure it's right in the middle of that one, and the blacks actually touch. They might even go over the top of each other, and that's okay. Just like that. Okay. All right, what is he missing? What do you see that he's missing? He's missing a nose and he's missing whiskers, right? So let's do his nose next. We'll cut his nose out. And I'm gonna put his nose so that the point, so one of the points is gonna point toward his tongue, okay? So I'm just gonna glue it on so that one of the points of that triangle nose are pointing down towards his tongue. Now if I go like this, is there a point pointing towards his tongue? No, there isn't. So I want to make sure that one of those points of the triangle is pointing towards his tongue, okay? Then the last thing we're gonna do is cut out his whiskers. Okay, his whiskers are like this. Now if you cut the kindergarten way, go all the way around the whole rectangle of whiskers. There's two sets of whiskers because he has three over here and three over here. So now I have 3 whiskers, you see that? And all I have to do is do 2 long cuts. 1, 2, and then I have 3 whiskers in my hand. I have 3, 1, 2, 3 whiskers that I'm gonna do. Now I'm not gonna put a bunch of glue on them. I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit of glue on one end of the whisker. I'll show you, see? I'm just gonna put a little bit on one end. That's all I need is just a little bit on one end. And then I'm gonna connect it where I want it to be on his nose. I can kind of stick mine underneath his nose. I like it to be underneath. If you don't care, you can put it on top of his nose a little bit. I like it to be kind of stick it underneath his nose. And just put a little tiny bit right on one end. You don't have to do it all the way across because then he'll have kind of flappy whiskers. See, his whiskers kind of were flappy. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. I'm gonna get this one, this last rectangle, and I'm gonna cut the kindergarten way all the way around. All the way around. That's my last thing I need to cut out. And then I just need 2 cuts. I cut 1 line, 2 lines, and then I have 3 whiskers. And then I just have to do a little tiny bit there. Put that one down there. A little bit on that one. And a little bit at the end of this one. And then I have a walrus that has cute whiskers and he's sticking his tongue out. What sound do you think, what digraph sound do you think he could be making that we talked about this week? Right? That kind of looks like he's saying T-H, T-H, right? I think so. I think he's kind of a naughty walrus. He's going like the naughty brother, right? All right, you guys did a great job today. I can't wait to see your walruses. You can color the word walrus. Make sure you write your name down here at the bottom of your walrus or up here at the top of your walrus so that we can put it with all of your animal reports that you've been working so hard on in class, that we've been writing about all the animals. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.